can they get those things cleaned up and start to create some sort of identity for themselves? And right now they're very much searching for that.
Well, there's a lot of things like you said that need to be cleaned up, and I don't know if it was Monday or yesterday that you said this, but if somebody is to say that if there's one issue that's fixed or changed or solved, that this team is, then they fix all the problems, then they're crazy. There's so
Mhm.
many things to clean up, but I will continue to stand on the fact that if the offensive line can be serviceable, then this team is probably 4-0, if not 3-1, and we're still breaking down some other issues. But if the offensive line can be serviceable, then you establish a little bit of a run game. Like you said, it allows Lenore Sellers to make more plays. He's going to have more time to throw the football. We're not having these discussions about bad sacks as much
Mhm.
because they're not there. And I think that if anything, watching Kentucky, I'm all about the stats and the numbers and breaking things down in that way. And if I'm writing, then I'm gonna rely on those numbers heavily. But if we get a chance to have a conversation like this, then I'm gonna rely on my eyes a little bit more too. And if you go back and watch Kentucky in these first 3 games, they're susceptible to the quarterback run for sure. And you just look at what Austin Simmons was able to do on a couple of key plays.
It's a good point.
Even with his ankle kind of bummed, and then they put Chambliss in, and he, even in the short time that he was in the game, was able to make some plays with his feet. So this is an opportunity for this coaching staff and for Lenore Sellers to turn things on in terms of his ability to get things done on the ground and maybe gain some confidence in that way heading into the bye week. And that's one of the major, major key points that I'm looking for, because this Kentucky defense will give it up if the quarterback wants to take off.
Well, yeah, they will. And here's the thing with that too. They'll also give it up through the air. I mean, there's a bunch of yards against them through the skies, and Lenore Sellers can get it down there. I mean, he can throw it as well as anybody they've seen this year. We know that. I mean, he obviously would like to have some throws back, but he can make throws that I haven't seen a quarterback that can make some of the throws that Lenore Sellers can make. It's just a matter of giving him an offense to work within where that stuff is helping you win games, not try to salvage something there.
Yep.
I mean, be a difference maker. Allow those plays to be on the highlight reel and wins, not crazy losses, because it gets you, like the play he made the other day against or that he threw to Nick Harbor. It was 3rd and 33 or 3rd and 34 or 3rd and 37 or whatever. It was forever. I mean, that's a play that should be a first down that's giving you an opportunity to score. And they're still 4 yards
Yep.
short of the sticks, Rob. So I mean, it was a play that kind of broke down, but that's my point. Is like that's his ability. If they're 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 7 and you make a play like that, you got a great chance to score a touchdown on that drive. I mean, that's a backbreaker type third down conversion, and they just continue to shoot themselves in the foot. But I look, I watched Shane Beamer yesterday. He ain't happy, and you
Yeah.
could see that in him. The one thing that I do know about Shane is, he will get chippy from time to time with the media, and people don't love that. And sometimes he'll seem pretty happy-go-lucky, and people don't love that unless you're winning. And none of it really matters unless you're winning or losing. Um, but his responses yesterday correlate a gazillion times with the information I've been receiving since Sunday evening, which is, they're looking at everything. There's no doubt about that. And they have looked at things, and they have made some changes. Now, how much do those meet the eye on Saturday with the 80,000 people in the ballpark? It is sold out once again. I guess we'll find out. I mean, I think there will be some things we'll be able to notice, but something has to change. You just can't continue to spin your wheels like this, and they're working hard at it. So we'll talk more about that. There's no doubt. I made it a point today to say before I got out of the first segment, Rob, that I would look at the Wide Open Wednesday Nana Sports chat box. So we'll do
Let's do
that,
it.
and then we'll come back and get into some of the scheduling stuff that came out last night. Harrison, good to see you, Harrison. Harrison's a good kid. Very curious to see how this stretch without John Mateer will play out. Where Rob's here, SEC Sunday night. We're going to talk to him about that coming up here just a little later. But that is big news, no doubt. And what's crazy with that too, Rob, is he's like, isn't it like 80% or something, 70 something percent of their rushing yards?
Yeah, and that's been the biggest thing for me is I've just been waiting. I've said it on the air multiple times, and I'm not trying to jinx the kid or like call for a legitimate injury, which he apparently has now, and this is a little bit of a different situation than what I was
It's a
thinking.
thumb or a wrist?
It's a thumb is what was reported.
Okay.
But just from a pure durability standpoint, this has been my question over and over the course of the whole season. And we had the Sooner Smiths, a couple that does a show with the Voice of College Football for Oklahoma on after their big win against Michigan. And Chad Smith, he pointed it out. I didn't even have to bring it up. He goes, look, he carried the ball 20 times in this game. That is not sustainable. Where's Jaden Ott? Where is anybody in the backfield that can kind of split this load of running the football? It's worked so far. But this is the SEC, and even starting running backs in the SEC don't carry the ball 25 times a game and make it through the season without getting banged up. This is your quarterback. And
Yeah.
so it was only a matter of time, even if it wasn't a quote unquote major injury. And now we have an injury that requires surgery, and he's going to be out for an unnamed number of weeks. And that's kind of been the consensus of what I've gotten is there's multiple reports about a timeline. Venables doesn't want to give a timeline. He says that he'll be back soon or be back sometime this season. We don't know. Is really what I've gathered from people that I've asked and kind of just looking at different angles and reports coming in. Everybody's saying a different number. So nobody knows what this timeline is really going to look like. But I just felt like it was only a matter of time before he either had an injury that like this, or you just see him get, banged up enough where it impacts his play. We saw this with Lenore Sellers last year. It's going to be an ankle that keeps you out for a game too. If you have a quarterback who's going to run, and that's football these days, you kind of have to have somebody that can do both. This is the SEC, man. You're going to get popped at some point.
Yeah, well, he did. We'll see if they got Kent State, but then after that, they're off this weekend, and then they got Kent State, and then they got back-to-back state fair games because they played Texas, and then they come to Columbia, and that is that'll be 3 or 4 days into the beginning of the state fair in the capital city. Ethan said, that's funny. Although I haven't blocked anybody around here in a while, Ethan, I don't pay much attention to it. He said these guys do a better job of blocking people in the chat box than our O-line does. That's for sure. Yeah, maybe something to be said about that. Brian said the real question: where does this team season go if they lose to Kentucky? Let's not go there, Brian. But it's good. It's a good question.
Well, the indicator is bigger than the record. If that's what happens, you can look at it and say, like you said before, there's an uphill climb to hit your goals. But I think it's how you lose. If they were to lose to Kentucky, like that's more of an indicator of where this team goes than it is that they're 0-3 in the league.
That's a good point.